Hi everyone, my name is Sylvester and I'm here to guide you through the incredible world of anatomy and physiology. Here, we will dive deep into the structure and function of the human body, exploring how every organ, system, and cell actually contributes to our health and well being. So, whether you are a student, a healthcare professional, or simply curious about how the body works, then you are the right place. My goal is to make complex concepts very simple, engaging, and accessible to everyone. So, let's get started on this journey of understanding the human body. Don't forget to support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing with others who might find these content helpful. Well, so anatomy. So anatomy is basically the study of the structure and physical organization of living organisms, especially their systems and organs. Okay, so when we look at anatomy, we are basically looking at the study of the body structure. Okay, in studying the body structure, we'll be looking at the relationship between the various body structures, the various body organs, the relationship, the interconnections between the various body systems, organs, and tissues. That is basically anatomy. Okay, so with anatomy, the focus is on the study of the structure of the body, the physical organization, how the body has been organized. Okay, so anatomy as a concept can even be studied among animals. Okay, but when we say human anatomy, then more specifically we are focusing on human beings. Okay, so anatomy is basically the study of the structure and physical organization of living organisms, especially their systems and organs. Now, the focus areas for anatomy, like I said earlier, is examining body structures. So with anatomy, we are looking at body structures. Then we go further to look at the relationship between these body structures. Okay, so for example, if we are looking at the physical structure of the heart, okay, in anatomy, we also look at the relationship between the heart and other organs. Okay, that is anatomy. So the focus areas for anatomy is examining body structures. Okay, how the body looks like, what is the shape, what is the size, what is the color, the appearance. Is that okay? That is anatomy. Okay, good. So anatomy looks like, and what organs are closer to the heart. For example, if you are looking at the heart, what organs are closer to the heart? If you are looking at the brain, what organs are closer to the brain? What organs are in front of the brain? What organs are behind? If it is the heart, what organs are in front of the heart? What organs are behind? What organs are lateral, at the lateral sides of the brain? Then we are talking about anatomy. Okay, so anatomy is the study of the physical structure, the structure, okay, of body organs, systems, and their relationship with other body organs. That is anatomy. Basically, we have two types of anatomy. We have what we call gross or macroscopic anatomy, and then we have the second one, which is the microscopic anatomy. Okay, now when we say gross or macroscopic anatomy, gross meaning we are looking at the physical, the visible structures of the body. Okay, the aspect of the body that you can see with the naked eye. Okay, so when you are doing any kind of anatomical study with the naked eye, so maybe you are looking at the organ, a visible organ. Okay, you are doing gross or macroscopic anatomy. Okay, but when it comes to an anatomical study that you need a magnification device, for example, you want to do an anatomical study where you include cells, as in cytology. Okay, then you are doing a microscopic anatomy. So for example, cytology and histology, the study of tissues. Histology, the study of tissues. Okay, cytology, the study of cells. These are all types of or forms of microscopic anatomy. Okay, so for microscopic anatomy, we are looking at structures that are too small to be seen by the naked eye. Okay, so structures that are too small, which you cannot see without a magnification device. Okay, in such a study, you'll be doing a microscopic anatomy. Okay, then we have the gross or macroscopic anatomy. So when you hear macroscopic or gross anatomy, meaning we are looking at anatomical study by using the naked eye. So probably we'll be looking at organs, we'll be looking at some kinds of tissues. Then we'll be doing gross or macroscopic anatomy. Okay, then when we talk of microscopic anatomy, then we are looking at structures that are too small to be seen with the naked eye. You need a magnification device. Then we are talking about microscopic anatomy. Now physiology. So now we understand anatomy. Let's look at physiology. Physiology has got to do with the study of functions and processes that occur within living organisms. Okay, so in physiology we are looking at the study of the functions. So anatomy is about the study of the body structure in terms of the shape, their size, their appearance, organs that are associated or related to them. That is anatomy. So anatomy looks at the body structure in terms of their shape, their size, their color, their weight, organs that are related to them. That is anatomy. Is that okay? So if we tell you to give us the anatomy of the heart, basically we want you to give us the shape of the heart, the size of the heart, the weight of the heart, the organs that are related to the heart. Do you get it? The color of the heart, the appearance of the heart, okay, the size of the heart. All those things have got to do with anatomy. But physiology is the study of the functions. So when we say physiology of the heart, it means the functions of the heart. Physiology of the brain, it means the functions of the brain, and then the mechanisms or the processes that occur within that living organism. So physiology is basically the study of the functions and processes that occur within that living organism. The study of the functions and mechanisms that occur within that living organism. That is physiology. When we say human physiology, it's the study of the functions and processes that occur within human beings, okay, or within the human body. Okay, so the study of the functions and processes that occur within the human body. That is human physiology. Okay, but now we are looking at physiology in general. Now the focus area of physiology, we are going to explore how the body parts they work. Okay, so with anatomy, we are going to look at the focus area for anatomy is exploring the various body structures or the various body parts in terms of how they look like, their shape, how they relate with other body parts. That is anatomy. But with physiology, the focus areas, we want to explore how body parts work and interact. We want to understand the mechanisms of bodily functions, the mechanisms behind how the body works. That is physiology. Okay, so physiology is basically to understand the mechanisms of bodily functions, how the body works. Okay, that is physiology. Now we have several forms of physiology or several types of physiology. We have cellular physiology, we have system physiology, like for example neurophysiology, cardiovascular physiology. Okay, so we have several types of physiology. Okay, good. Then we have human anatomy and physiology. Okay, and this is the focus of this course on anatomy and physiology. Our central focus is on human anatomy and physiology. So like I said earlier, human anatomy basically focus on the study of the human body structure. Okay, for example, studying the organs of the human body, studying muscles, studying bones of the human body, studying tissue systems in the human body. We are doing human anatomy. So human anatomy focuses specifically on the body structure. Okay, now human physiology on the other hand focuses on how the body works and the mechanisms behind how the body works. That is human physiology. Okay, now let's look at the relationship between anatomy and physiology. Anatomy actually gives insight into the structure Okay, whilst physiology actually provides understanding of the functions. Studying physiology will let you understand the functions of the human body parts. Okay, while studying anatomy would give you insight into the structure, while physiology would provide you with understanding of how the body functions. So when you study physiology, you understand how the various body parts, the organs, the tissues, the cells, how they work, and the mechanisms behind how they work. Okay, anatomy will just let you know where are they located, how do they look like, what are their sizes, what are their weights. Okay, what organs are related to those organs you want to study. That is human anatomy. Okay, so this is the relationship between, so for example, the heart structure or anatomy is studied to understand the role in pumping blood, which is the physiology. So the structure of the heart, then we are talking about anatomy. Okay, so when you hear structure, it's anatomy. When you hear a particular activity or action, they are talking about physiology. That is also a very simple clue. So anytime you are reading something about in anatomy and physiology, you hear or you are reading something like an action of a particular organ, is that we are talking, the focus is on physiology. Okay, but then when we are describing how the organ looks like, the size of the organ, the weight of the organ, the appearance, other organs that are related to it, we are doing anatomy. But the moment we are talking about how it works, the processes involved, we are doing physiology. That is a relationship between the two. So this example, the heart structure, once you hear structure, we are talking about the heart anatomy. Okay, good. And then the heart, the pumping action of the heart, we are talking about physiology. The role of the heart in pumping blood, that is physiology. Okay, that is physiology. And that is the relationship between anatomy and physiology. Now, the branches of human anatomy and physiology. We have several branches of human anatomy and physiology. Okay, now first of all, let's begin with the branches of human anatomy. Okay, so like I said earlier, we have the two major branches of human anatomy is the gross anatomy and then microscopic anatomy. When we say gross anatomy, we explained earlier on that gross anatomy looks at the body parts that can be seen, okay, without using a microscope. Like we want to study the bones, we want to study muscles, we want to study the heart structure. We don't need a magnification device. So it's a gross or macroscopic anatomy. Okay, so gross anatomy is a branch of human anatomy that actually focuses on studying body parts without the use of a magnification device. Now, microscopic anatomy, on the other hand, studies very small structures like cells, some kinds of tissues using a microscope. So anytime you are doing an anatomical study of which you need a magnification device, because those structures involved are very small like cells and tissues, we are doing microscopic anatomy. Now, developmental anatomy. Developmental anatomy has got to do with studying how body structures changes from birth through aging. Okay, so as an individual ages, okay, how the body structures changes, okay, from birth through the whole period of aging. That is what we call developmental anatomy. Okay, we have pathological anatomy. Pathological anatomy actually focuses on how diseases affect human body structures. Okay, so if we say pathological anatomy, okay, how diseases or certain medical conditions actually impact the human body structures. That is what we call pathological anatomy. Pathology means disease. Okay, so how diseases affect. Anatomy means body parts. So how diseases affect the human body parts, okay, or structures. That is what we refer to as pathological anatomy. So when you are studying in anatomy and the focus is on how a certain disease affects a body structure, you are doing pathological anatomy. Now, comparative anatomy. Comparative anatomy actually compares structures between different species. Like you are doing a study, you are comparing, let's say, a pig to a human being. Okay, a pig to a human being. You are doing a comparative anatomy. You are comparing the structures in an animal to that of humans. That is what we call comparative anatomy. So when we say comparative anatomy, it's a type of anatomical study whereby we are comparing the body structures of a human being to that of another animal or that of an animal. That is a comparative anatomy. We have regional anatomy. Regional anatomy actually examines specific areas of the body like the head, the chest, and see how all parts work together. That is regional anatomy. So regional anatomy, you select a particular area. Regional anatomy is different from systemic anatomy or system anatomy. System anatomy, you pick a particular system like the cardiovascular system. Then you are looking at the structure of the cardiovascular system, the organs in the cardiovascular system, the parts of the cardiovascular system. That is systemic anatomy. Okay, but the regional anatomy, you choose you focus the study on a particular region in the body, like the head. You know, if you enter the head, you have a cluster of systems in the head, because in the head you have blood vessels, meaning a bit of cardiovascular is in the head. Okay, in the head you have the brain, you have nerves. Okay, you would have some endocrine organs. Is that okay? Good. So that is regional anatomy. So regional anatomy, it focuses on a particular area, region in the body, like the head, the neck, the chest. Okay, that is the regional anatomy, or maybe any of the extremities. You are doing regional anatomy. Okay, so those are some of the branches of human anatomy that we can talk about. Let's go to some of the branches of physiology. Branches of physiology. Okay, so with the branches of physiology, we have neurophysiology, cardiovascular physiology, endocrinology, respiratory physiology, renal physiology, muscle physiology, gastrointestinal physiology, reproductive physiology, immune physiology, exercise physiology, and pathophysiology. Okay, these are all branches of human physiology. Now, neurophysiology just concentrates on the name neuro. Okay, so neurophysiology, we are basically going to concentrate our physiological study on how the brain and nerves work to control the human body. Okay, so how the brain or how the nervous system actually works to control the human body. That is neurophysiology. Cardiovascular physiology, we are going to focus our physiological study on how the cardiovascular system works together to ensure that blood is supplied to the various parts of the body. That is cardiovascular physiology. Endocrinology, it focuses on endocrinology actually focuses on hormones and how they control body processes like growth and metabolism. Endocrinology, okay, it focuses on hormones and how they control body processes like growth and metabolism. Respiratory physiology. Respiratory physiology actually examines how the lungs work to bring in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Respiratory physiology, how the lungs work to bring in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Renal physiology actually studies the kidneys and how they filter blood and produce urine. Renal physiology studies the kidneys and how they filter blood and produce urine. Muscle physiology actually looks at how muscles move and produce force. Muscle physiology. So muscle physiology actually looks at how muscles move and produce force. Muscle physiology, how muscles work, movement in muscles. Okay, good. And how those movements actually enables the muscles to produce force and contractions. Gastrointestinal physiology is a physiological study that focuses on digestion. okay, and how the body actually absorbs nutrients. That is gastrointestinal physiology. Reproductive physiology. Reproductive physiology studies how the body reproductive system works, how the reproductive system of the body works. That is reproductive physiology. Immune physiology. Okay, immune physiology actually focuses on how the body defends itself against illnesses. Okay, so immune physiology has got to do with the immune system and how they work to protect your body against illnesses and diseases. Exercise physiology examines how the body responds and adapts to physical activity. Exercise physiology. And the last one is pathophysiology. Studies how normal functions changes when a disease occurs. Pathophysiology. Okay, so pathophysiology. So when you hear pathophysiology, we are talking about how the normal functions of the human body changes when there is a disease or illness. So anytime the human body is hit by a disease, okay, how the normal functions that we know, which is the physiology, how they change because of the presence of a disease. That is what we call pathophysiology. Pathophysiology. So these are the various branches of anatomy and physiology that, in future, if you should advance in the field of anatomy or physiology, you can concentrate on any of these areas of your own choice or interest. Now let's look at the importance of studying anatomy and physiology. Okay, now if you study anatomy and physiology, you would understand the human body. You would understand how the human body works. Okay, and the mechanisms behind how the human body works. Okay, you would understand how the human body is likely to be affected when there is a disease. Okay, in fact, and this is the reason why studying anatomy is actually the foundation for all health professions. And that is why for all students in the health sciences, you all study anatomy and physiology. It's more like a foundation because if you don't understand how the human body works, you wouldn't appreciate, certain processes that goes on in the body. Okay, good. So anatomy and physiology is a foundation for health profession, because if you understand how the human body works, you would better be able to understand the patients that you are dealing with when they come with various conditions, and you would be able to handle and treat or manage them properly. Your understanding of anatomy will give you that foundation to do that properly. Okay, medical and healthcare careers. Okay, so studying anatomy is actually very, is actually more like a ladder if you want to advance in medical and healthcare careers. If you really want to succeed in medical and healthcare careers, then you want to take anatomy and physiology very serious. Okay, studying anatomy and physiology would also help improve health awareness. Okay, it will improve health awareness. If we understand how the body works, okay, it wouldn't be difficult for us to appreciate how the functions would be altered when there is a disease. Okay, so in fact, if you have a good understanding of anatomy and physiology, you would appreciate the impact of certain medical conditions on the human body. Okay, good. And that would put health professionals, okay, at a better position in disease prevention and management. Okay, studying anatomy is also relevant in injury prevention and recovery. Okay, and then in research, okay, if you understand anatomy, your understanding of courses like pharmacology will be very solid. You would really appreciate, how medications actually work to alter certain functions or to achieve certain functions in the body, or complement the work done by various systems in the body to achieve certain responses by the body. Anatomy would help you to understand that. Anatomy would also help us to advance in medicine and research. If we study anatomy, we'll be able to advance in medicine and research, and that would enable professionals to provide quality care to patients. Okay, quality care, evidence-based care, a care that is very effective. Okay, because of understanding of the human body, how it looks like, the structures, and how it works. Okay, that would enable us to advance in medicine and research. Good. Well, in future, if you become an anatomist or a physiologist, these are the range of opportunities that will be there for you. Okay, good. So this is the job of the anatomist or the physiologist. They study body structure and functions. Okay, so in future, if you are planning of advancing into studying anatomy and physiology, then you should be prepared to study the body structure and the functions of the body. In fact, anatomists actually focus on the physical structure of living things, whilst if you are a physiologist, you are going to learn more and explore how these structures work and interact. Okay, so in future, if you want to become a physiologist, it means you are really going to do a lot of study, okay, to understand how the various body structures, the cells, the body parts, okay, how these various structures, how they work and how they interact, okay, to provide certain responses in the body. And if you want to be an anatomist, you focus on the physical structure. You are going to be dissecting, removing the body parts, okay, of dead bodies one after the other, and be studying them all your life. That is the work of anatomist. Okay, now anatomists and physiologists also, they feature in research and discovery. They conduct research to expand understanding of the body, often specializing in areas like organs, in areas like cells, in areas like tissues, and even the entire system. Okay, the entire system. Well, now in medical and health application, in medicine and health application, okay, so if you are an anatomist or a physiologist, you contribute to medical advancements, okay, by discovering how disease or injuries actually impact body functions and develop methods to address these effects. Okay, if you are an anatomist or physiologist, you will be teaching and you also be educating, students. You'll be educating healthcare professionals, okay, because of your in-depth understanding of the human body parts, and then in-depth understanding of how the human body works, the mechanisms behind how the human body works. So if you go into anatomy and physiology, you can become a teacher. You teach in universities, you teach in medical schools, you train future healthcare professionals for them to understand how the human body looks like, the structures, okay, the various body organs, and then how they work. Anatomists and physiologists also collaborate with healthcare teams. They actually collaborate with healthcare teams. Okay, they work with doctors, they work with surgeons, they work with researchers to apply findings of clinical treatments, medical procedures, and healthcare innovations. Okay, now physiologists and anatomists also help in developing medical tools and treatments. They help to design medical devices, diagnostic tools, and therapeutic practices based on their knowledge of anatomy and physiology. So in future, if you want to advance to become an anatomist or a physiologist, these are the areas that you are likely to focus or look at in the future. Good.